Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here. We already have a bunch of people in chat, and we'll get to questions and all that stuff, chatting with you guys. But first, I want to do a round of introductions. So, Taylor, do you want to kick us off?
Of course. Hello, everybody. My name is Taylor Ann Wright. I am a booktube author tuber here, but I'm also an indie author. And this is my first book, Venture Below. And my second book, Venture Beyond, just came out on January 18th. And they are both available on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited if you would like to support me and check them out. They're a YA fantasy, by the way. Lots of secrets, action. You could read them pretty fast. And then I'm right now working on the third book in the series.
Amazing.
So exciting.
Exciting. Is it me?
Sure.
Are we doing this way? Okay. I'll just
Yeah.
Hi, guys. My name is Becca Tobar. I make videos here on YouTube, and I'm also currently working on revising my literary fiction novel. I finished draft 1 in January. I just started revisions. They're going. And yeah, super excited to be here with my friends today.
Yes. And I am Cody. I am Cody the Writer here on YouTube. I am currently in the process of line editing my debut mystery thriller novel. It's called The Ghost Writers Club, and it is set to release this summer. So it's coming out this year. And I am at the point now where I don't exactly know what number draft I'm on. It's at the point now where it doesn't really matter. It's just like I'm reading it over and over and over and over until it feels like I want it. So that's the stage that I'm in right now. So me and dictionary.com are best friends. But yeah, I post videos on YouTube, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I pretty much deleted all my other social media. So
Oh, that's so smart.
yeah.
Yeah, all of their channels are linked in the description. Please check them out. They have some amazing videos, and I mean, I love your guys' content. I'm so glad we're doing this. I'm Lynn, and this is my channel, and I talk about writing and books and stuff, and now publishing. So, yay!
Yeah, I haven't like got to talk to you in person since you dropped that announcement. Congratulations! That's so exciting.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it feels weird because it's like so far out still, but. Yeah, it's really exciting. And I will be working on my edits for MOTHSBLOOD today, so because I'm on deadline, so we're gonna get some words in.
That's such a cool title.
Thank you.
Such a good title, yeah.
MOTHSBLOOD, like that. I don't know. It's so intriguing. Immediately, I'm like, I need to know what this is about. Like, what?
What's funny is when I came up with that, I was like, are people gonna call me out because moths and insects don't have blood; they have hemosil.
But that's what makes it intriguing.
Am I gonna? The entomology community is gonna come for me. We do have some questions in chat if you guys want to answer a couple before we dive into our first 20-minute stream as people sort of like trickle in and stuff.
Sure thing.
Okay, amazing. Oh, Joy is here. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Joy.
Joy is asking what our favorite stage of the writing process is. Do you want to go in like the same order for all of this? And we can like try to keep it a little quick, but
Okay. All right. So my favorite stage of the writing process, I'd say right now, is probably the brainstorming. Like coming up with the ideas and like being able to like really visioneer it and like see it all kind of like take shape, like that part, and then outlining, which is so shocking to me because I would not have said I was a plotter or an outliner, and now I fully embrace that 100%. And like being able to plot and outline like with Cody in his book and Natalie in her book and me in my book, and it's become my favorite part of it, honestly, and seeing it like fit together like a puzzle. Yeah, that's probably my favorite part.
Yeah.
I second. I think the brainstorming part when everything feels so like fresh and new, and I like hesitate to call it shiny idea syndrome, because you're like in the honeymoon phase of the idea. I don't think of it that way. I just like there's so much opportunity there, and like you can really make it whatever you want. Once you start writing, it's weird. The book kind of does start taking on like its own shape, and you're just like, okay, I can't do that, or I can do this. But to me, the process of like putting together a vision board and like a playlist and like figuring out who the characters are is like the most exciting thing. That's the part that makes it feel kind of real to me. So I am 100% like plotting not plotting. What's the word? World building,
Right.
brainstorming.
See, I'm gonna probably have to third this, but I do have like other things because I personally have not been through every stage of the writing process. Like right now, I'm going through line edits for the first time. And I have to say that I'm actually really enjoying it because right now, I mean, the story's there. Now I'm just kind of like, tweaking fine little details. And I just have my little dictionary app open and I'm like, ooh, I'm realizing that I'm using this word a lot of times. Let's look for a better word. And so that kind of part of it, I almost feel like I'm like a detective that's like looking, like skimming through my own book and is like, I'm finding my own pitfalls. And so this is I guess the point of the process where I'm learning the most about my crutch words and like the things that I lean on the most. And so I'm excited about learning those things because that means I can prevent them next time I'm drafting something. And I can go ahead and like nip that in the bud. But otherwise, definitely the brainstorming phase where you look like a literal crazy person at your thing and you're just like, the meme of the guy with the board behind him?
Yeah, from It's Always Sunny.
That's me. And like whenever, because Taylor knows, because we plotted a whole book in 2 hours. It was crazy. Yeah. But like whenever we found those little things that just like fit so well and just like everything kind of clicked together, just that like excitement you get of like, holy crap, this is actually going to be a story. And that conception of that is the best, most fun, chaotic part for me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. For me, I oscillate back and forth between drafting and revision. I think I like drafting a little more because I'm actively revising right now in this moment. But I think for me, drafting is just so like, for me, it's gotten to the point where it's very intuitive and I'm just like exploring and I like that a lot. So yeah, drafting is probably my answer for right now. Oh, this is a fun one also from Joy. What do you guys like to do in your spare time?
Oh, okay. I forgot I'm going first. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Music, I think, would probably be one of my favorite things to do in my spare time. I am like a musician. I play the guitar, piano, and I sing. So doing that is a really fun outlet. And then making videos is probably another fun thing that I do. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love video games. Probably like when I'm not writing or doing the like YouTube stuff. I love cozy video games. I love like scary video games, but I can't play them. I'm like way too like chicken to do that. So like I watch other people play them, but I definitely like Animal Crossing. There's this really cozy one. It's called Cozy Grove, and you're basically like a little Girl Scout helping these bears find like these ghost bears find their memories. It's so cute. It's so cute.
Wait, what's the name of this again?
It's called Cozy Grove. I think it's on Steam. So even if you don't have like a Switch or something, you can play on your computer. Yeah. It's so great. I highly recommend. And then what was I talking about? Oh, art. I recently like shared my art in one of my videos, and I'm trying to get back into it. It's like slow going, but I do really like to draw in my spare time.
So your art is so good. It was so cool to see that you did that.
Thanks, guys. If you ever want characters of your art, I'm like, if you ever want to send me descriptions, I will absolutely do them because I think that's so fun.
Becca, I'm about to hit you up for real.
I know. We're all gonna spam
Becca. Like a meet the cast of the Ghostwriters Club video, and I will absolutely blast your art out into the space.
Oh my god, I would love.
And be like,
I would love.
All of this art was created by Becca Tobar. Like, everyone go hire her for something. I don't know.
Oh, thanks, guys.
But for me, I'm like Becca. I love video games. Like that's one of my go-tos. I mean, most recently, my most recent faves have been I played the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is like so freaking good. And I mean, it's like a lot of story. But currently, right now, because I am a huge nerd, I love Pokemon. It's like my favorite thing for like forever. I grew up with it, and it's gonna be just a party forever. Anyway, well, if you don't know, February 27th is Pokemon Day because that's the day that Pokemon was first released in the United States. And every year on Pokemon Day, they have a trailer with all of like the new games and things coming out. And because they had a whole trailer last year for a new Pokemon Legends game.
The Z or whatever?
Yeah, ZA. Yeah, and so I've been replaying Pokemon Legends Arceus because one, it's so cozy because you're literally just running around and catching Pokemon and researching them. Like that's literally your main quest. And so yeah, I've just been replaying that in preparation for the announcements we're going to get at the end of this month. So that's what I've been doing in my free time. Oh, and reading. I just finished the book actually right before we got on this here stream.
What book was it?
It was Frida McFadden's newest book called The Crash.
Ooh.
And it was very intriguing. I've been using Frida books as like my voice training as I've been going through my own line editing. So
yeah,
it's been really helpful.
Nice. Yeah. I love that. I love voice training. Love that so much. It's such a cool concept. For me, my hobbies, I have ADHD, so I feel like I have a new hobby every month. Like high key. Generally speaking, what's held true is I minored in art, so like I paint semi-regularly. I crochet. I've crocheted a lot of my own clothes, and right now I'm also in a big video game kick, but the PlayStation Network has been down for like 2 days or like a day. It's been down since last night, so I can't play the game that I want to play. And I've also been getting into Magic the Gathering, and I like to cook.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. I'm actually going to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go. I was going to play something video game related, so just you go.
I'm not going to say, but Becca, it's relevant to you, so I will tell you after. But go ahead.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing big.
Okay. If anyone plays Genshin, this is a shot in the dark. I don't feel like people play that one anymore. But if anyone plays Genshin Impact, let me know because I would like to have friends that play online games. I don't have enough friends to play online games, and it's really fun. So if anyone plays it and would like to play online together, drop your username and I will add you.
Is that one a mobile game? I have a couple friends who play it.
I know a lot of people that play mobile, but I play on the PlayStation because I cannot play that game on my phone.
Yeah, it seems like a lot for a phone to handle because there's like full graphics.
It's a lot.
It's so cool. Maybe I'll get into it. I've been deep on the like Marvel Rivals grind, and it's.
Oh, I've heard that one's good.
It is good, but it's like I'm not good at games like that, so it's kind of scary.
I get that.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm skipping a couple questions, but I think we'll do like maybe one more, and I want it to be something that like all of us can answer, so I'm skipping like more of the publishing related ones because I feel like those are directed at me and I promise I'll answer them eventually. But Michaela's here, Mick is here. Yes, I do remember that username. Gia's here, Ari's here. Yay. I'm like reading these so fast.
I know we have so many friends.
I know so many friends are in. Thank you so much, Brody, for the I don't know what it's called, like the super. You guys don't have to do this, by the way, but tips on breaking the mythical veil of art. I love the idea of writing only when you are grabbed by a muse, but it doesn't seem realistic long term. Do you guys have like schedule or like routines, and has that been helpful for y'all?
Well, I made a routine and I have a whole video on making the routine, but I have not a single day since making that video followed that routine.
So real.
I mean, to be honest, I think just with how much I feel like I'm on streams and stuff, those are such pivotal like landmarks in my week that I know I'm going to be sitting down to write for 2 hours. And I've lately been seeing this trend with my own, like I've been tracking it with like when I'm actually writing and how many hours. And for me, it's been every other day is when I actually sit down to write. And those days are usually really heavy writing days, like more than 2,000 words a day. So I'm like, okay with having a day where I don't do anything.
Yeah.
And like, I'll like think of my book, I'll listen to the playlist, surround myself with it. But then I know the next day I'm going to sit down to like write like heavily, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a routine anymore. I never had a routine. Let's be real. That never existed.
I mean, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, I think no. Listen, stream is so awkward. Like I never want to interrupt anyone. So I'm just like, okay, I'll jump in. I literally just published a video today about how I was trying to like do a routine this past week of like, how do I balance like writing and taking care of myself and being, and spoiler alert, I failed pretty badly. Like I failed at like the taking care of myself physically aspect. I feel like the thing with writing or like any creative endeavor is that the idea of the one singular muse or feeling like you have to be inspired is actually partially untrue to a certain extent. Like I do think everybody has like a little creative flame inside of them, and that like there are times where it burns brighter than others. But I think like a lot of art is actually just a muscle. Like you do have to just kind of one, be prepared to just be bad at it and enjoy the process of being bad at it. And then with time you just kind of get better and it becomes more of like a practice. And like Taylor, I didn't get up and write in the morning this morning because I knew I had a stream. So I was like, oh, I'll take that time to like read my book or recharge in like a different way, spend time with my husband. It's like sometimes you're inspired, yes, but other times you really just have to take the inspiration into your own hands and just be like, I'm gonna write today. I don't care how much, or I'm gonna paint today. I don't care if it's bad. Like I do think part of it is a little bit of like building that momentum for yourself.
Yeah.
For me, so I guess for the breaking the mythical veil of art, it's really when you think of art, a lot of times you're thinking of the final product as the piece of art. And like Becca was saying, a lot of that, like the actual writing part of it, the actual creating of it is going to be laborsome because you are literally taking something that lives only in your head and you are making it into a physical form of a document or whatever. And every day that you're sitting down to flex that muscle of, writing the actual story, that comes from that you're not always going to have like what Becca was saying. The flame, if it varies. Sometimes the flame is like, oh my gosh, I have all these ideas. I have to get them out right now. Sometimes it's like, okay, we just have to keep trucking through and then we'll get there in the end,
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess something that I have been personally working on in demystifying the whole process of writing is knowing that as long as I am showing up for the craft of writing frequently, because I can't have a routine the way my schedule is, like it changes every day. But as long as the desire to sit and create this thing that I had this, bright flame for at one time, it's almost like the art in itself is paying respect to that version of yourself that felt so passionate about it. And you're doing that version of yourself not a disservice, but the opposite. Whenever you continue to and work towards this thing that you once had such a, you were grabbed by the muse, you're basically paying respect to that every time you sit down to write. So that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah. I really like that analysis, Cody.
Thanks.
Of course. Credit where credit's due. All of your analysis is good. I did see that someone we skipped over, I think Carol's question. Carol, if you don't mind dropping it in the chat again, we'll get back to it after the stream. Sorry, I was just like running through those and I was barely reading what I was saying. But for this question, I think like now at this point, I'm doing like so many things. My time is so precious that I like am eager, looking forward to those moments where I can grab the time to write. And I don't know if that's just like a training thing, like I've gaslit myself into that over a long period of time, but I think treating it as like a special opportunity or something that you get to look forward to, that's been really helpful for me. But I'm not super consistent, really. So I don't know if I can really speak on this. But because I don't want to hold you guys up for too long, do we want to start some sprints?
Oh, this is such a cute timer.
Thank you.
I love this.
It's the first one that comes up on Google if you type in aesthetic study timer. So, okay. So
let's do it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do 20 minutes and then come back around. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them and I will try my best to get to as many as possible after this. Okay. Good luck, guys.
Did the sprint end?
Yeah,
Oh.
I did.
What? Huh?
We were all just like locked in on that.
Yeah. I feel like
Good.
usually it makes a noise and I didn't hear it go off at all.
I was
Yeah,
so in it.
Yeah, what the
My
heck?
first stream today didn't make any noise either. And
What?
the first stream ended and Ian was like, "This is the part where you start talking again." And I was like, "Oh yeah, Ian, you're so right. My bad, bro."
Oh my gosh, my bad. I wonder why I didn't
We were
make any
in it.
noise.
We
We
were.
were. I loved that.
I was
It actually
locked in.
started snowing like super hard and it hasn't snowed in weeks. And I was just like looking outside and looking at my screen
Oh, I
and like,
love that.
oh my gosh, it looks so good. Okay, how did that go for everyone?
Went pretty good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I got 747 words.
Nice.
I don't know how many words I worked through, but I can find out in like a second.
I think I got 317, and I worked through a scene that was giving me a really hard time. So I feel pretty good about this.
Nice. I didn't do that much. I changed, like, I control F and changed like a fantasy term to a new fantasy term, and I'm gonna put that in my edit log. But yeah, it's been pretty
I worked
good.
through like 1,600-ish words, like read through and like tweaked as I was going. I mean, I didn't write 1,600, but that's what I worked through.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh my gosh. Sometimes revision is so slow. Like, there's some scenes where it's just like you're in it and staring at it for hours, and it's just like, how do I fix this?
Sometimes it's something so minuscule too. Like, I was like, why does this scene not make sense? And I'm like, well, I'm having her deny this one thing that's very obviously happening, and it's putting a stop to everything else that needs to happen. So I'm like, oh, she just needs to like accept this and move on.
Like, sometimes it's so easy, but then it's like not. Hello.
Oh.
Sorry, I was throwing.
No worries. Oh my gosh, no worries at all. Sorry, I'm just so enraptured by the snow. I'm so happy that it's so good now. It's so good. Yeah, because we've had a really dry winter for this state, so it's been weird.
We haven't gotten any snow either, and I'm like, like it's been awful.
Yeah, like now everything is just brown and dead. Like I don't like to look at it. I want to see it all covered in snow
and gray.
Yeah. And gray. No greenery anywhere. Oh, we have a couple more questions if you don't mind answering, like a few more.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
This one's AuthorTube specific. Why did you guys get into AuthorTube? What was the I want to make this writing thing into a YouTube channel? People could find this fun moment for you guys.
Okay. Let's see. So I published Venture Below in 2021, and I was already making like bookish type videos, like going to Barnes and Noble or like doing like little reading vlogs, like super small stuff. And then I pretty much just pivoted entirely to like BookTube. And then I went through a big phase where I like was not proud of my book and like wasn't promoting it and like pretended it didn't happen. And so then something clicked in my head and I was like, you know what? I should be proud of this. Like I should be promoting this. So then I started talking about it in like the beginning of the video and just mentioning it in my BookTube content. And people were like, wait, I want to know like what you're talking about. Like, what do you mean you're an indie author? And I was like, okay. So then I realized like filming writing vlogs and talking more about like writing content and AuthorTube stuff was so fun, and like it held me accountable, and I looked forward to making that content. So it was just kind of like a natural like switch over, and now I kind of like weave in between the two topics of reading and writing.
That's amazing.
For me, I mean, I've been making videos in one form or another. I don't know if I mentioned this on a different stream, but I started making like video game music videos like back like 12 years ago. Like I would take cutscenes from like video games on my like Windows movie editor and like do stuff like that. And then I made art videos for a little while, and then I did like beauty and lifestyle videos for a little while, and I was like, this is fun, but it's not really what I want to talk about. And I'd grown up like writing. And then I was like, well, let's give this a shot. Actually, Lynn is one of the channels I like gushed about this when we got to meet, but like Lynn was one of the channels where I was like, oh, people do this, like Lynn's channel, Christy and Jones's channel. There was a few that I had kind of like stumbled into where I was like, oh, I would totally do this. Like, this sounds so cool. And yeah, once I started reading again, and I was like, it reignited that dream that I had to like write again. And so I kept going. Now here I am.
Oh, Cody, you're muted.
I can't hear you, fam. We can't hear you.
I've done this before. Sorry.
Okay.
So for me, I mean, when I started my channel, I had two things in mind. I wanted to, because I had set out to start writing my first book many times before I actually successfully completed my debut book. And for me, I wanted to make writing friends, just so I could have people in my life that I could just like talk about all the weird things that writers go through. Because unless you're a writer, you just sometimes people just don't get it, you know? Like we do some weird stuff. Sometimes we sit and stare at a wall and imagine like the best way to cut someone's arm off, you know? Like it's things like that, like weird stuff. And so I wanted to make writing friends, which I did. All these wonderful people here are my writing friends now, and all you wonderful people in the chat are my writing friends. But that was the one thing. But also, you only get to write your first book once, and I wanted to document that in video form. That way I can have something that no matter how far along I get into this writing publishing process, I'll always have on film in a designated place on the internet where I can go and see myself follow my own dreams and have no guarantee of what's going to happen, but you're just doing it anyway. And then, you know, that's just a time capsule. That was mainly what started it. And then here we are. Now we're chronically on the internet, hanging out together.
Real. So real. God, it was so long ago. For me, I started this channel and I feel like I started out being like, I want to make videos talking about like craft because I was getting really into craft. I'd already signed with my first agent back then and like was on submission and stuff. And I was also like, it was a pandemic project for me. Like I started this channel in like 2020, which is funny because I was a frontline worker. So I actually never stayed at home really. I was working at a vet clinic at the time. And yeah, it was kind of like, I didn't really know any writers. I mean, I had like Twitter writing friends, but we weren't super close. And I didn't know any writers in my real life. And I just wanted to like talk about my experiences and talk about craft. And I think what's funny is that like I started out on this channel and I still do to some extent, like with an intent of teaching. But at that point, I never in my life thought I would be a teacher. But that experience of like sharing information and creating like educational videos actually helped push me in the direction of education. So now that's my like career. But yeah, it's been a while, but that was kind of the start, I think.
Love that.
I would love to pose this question to all of you guys. So we have all of this documented, right? Do you guys ever go back and watch your old videos?
I
Yep.
do.
I do.
Oh,
I do.
Which is totally fine if you don't.
For me, the only time that I usually go back and watch my own videos is if I need like a reminder of like why I started this whole thing. And like sometimes it's like cathartic if I'm feeling like, why am I even doing this? To go back and see how excited like first video Cody was about all the craziness that he didn't know was going to happen. Also, literally next Wednesday is my 1 year on AuthorTube. So
what?
It's crazy that it's already been a full year. Like I feel like I've known some of you for like forever.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's so wild. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched a video back, but I'm like very like an anxious person, so I feel like it would just make me be like, oh, I come off so weird or whatever.
You don't come off weird at all.
Oh, thank you.
No.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Clark brought me Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Oh my gosh, Tropical Smoothie Cafe is so good.
He's the real MVP of the stream.
Yes, you needed
Everyone drop a heart in the chat for Clark.
Yes. Drop those hearts. Okay, we had Carol's question come back. So if you guys don't mind answering this one, what would be your most important or first step you would take in world building for your story?
Ooh, okay. I feel like I would have, I feel like for me, I can't say for everybody else, but like usually I'll have one, like the foundation of the idea, and then the other pieces will kind of like come into play. And I usually go to like Pinterest and get inspired. Like one image could like click the entire world building for me or something. And then also just reflecting on like other books that maybe I want to be inspired by or something similar like to the magic system, or like if it's a dystopian, like something you want to kind of be inspired by and pull from. But world building is a difficult thing. I think just put all of your ideas down so you have them, and then you can kind of form something that makes sense. For me, that's kind of like how it happened. It just kind of fell into place. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
I think for me, it depends on the kind of story. Like, I worked on like a darker fantasy about a year ago, and when it comes to like building something fully from scratch, I always start with the creation story of that world. Like, are there gods? How did it come to be here? Is there like a whole solar system, or is it kind of contained? Like, how big do I want it to be? Because I feel like a lot of our natural history, like what we have now, like a lot of it is rooted in like religion, and that's how we kind of a lot of cultures understand like where they come from and like why we're here and everything. So that always helped me kind of understand like, okay, what's the belief system that these people have, and how does it then inform like their government structures, there's some like their currency, their occupations. And so it kind of like waterfalls in that way. When it comes to something like what I'm writing right now, which is just like a very contained little small town book, I still created Eden myself. So it was really like, okay, what does this town as a character kind of provide for me? What does it need to have? What can it not have? And so I kind of start with like that, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never feel eloquent.
No, that was good. I also loved like setting his character. So I'm so excited for your book, Becca.
I might need your help because I'm struggling.
I'll help anytime.
Well, for me, I've predominantly written like drafted. The only things that I have drafted are mystery thrillers that exist in our world. But as I have been working on this fantasy project, usually what I have found for me whenever I'm building the world is I typically latch on to like one, I guess, central element. So for me, I had two central elements that kind of like that I thought of, and then it just and then we just spiraled from there. So for me, like with Project Purple, I was my whole thing was the magic system involving these crystals that are like part of the anatomy of the characters in this world. So like someone might have like, you know, blue stones like coming out of their collarbones like across, like, but it looks different on everybody, but there's different color like crystals, but that's their source of magic. So that was like the first thing that I kind of latched onto. And then I was like, okay, so like what powers these crystals? What is the source of their magic? Have these characters always had this? And it kind of like helped me spiral into that. And then one of the big like plot arcs of the story is the son dying. And so that alone, you know, that's inspired like a city where, you know, I was like, what would people look like if the sun was gone for a certain amount of time? They'd be pale. They would be, you know, probably not the nicest people because they haven't seen sunlight in however long. And so letting these aspects of the story sort of, they almost like naturally inspire the world building. Like if you latch onto one thing and you kind of like spiral, and you, for me, never stop asking questions. For your best friend when you're world building is why. Because if you say, oh, these crystals, you know, they're in these people, why? Who put them there? What put them there? Did a god put them there? And then this, you know, this city is for example, like the city around like the kingdom, because there's an evil king, because duh. And so like the city, like what does it look like? Why is the king evil? Why? And it just leads to so many things, and it just eventually starts building itself out without you necessarily having to sit and pinpoint every little aspect of the society and all that stuff. And there's also a part of me that's like, there's some things I don't want to know that I kind of want to discover as I'm drafting, because I want to know what my characters are. I know what's going to happen to my characters because I am a plotter, but I usually don't know what their reaction is going to be to that until I'm in the drafting phase and I know those characters a little bit better, and I know how they would react to certain things. And so really it's just a constant cycle of you having an idea about something in the world and asking yourself why, answering that, and then asking yourself why, and then so on and so forth. And then you have a world.
Yeah. I love that. That sounds so intuitive. which is like, yeah, I'd say that's probably really similar for me. I think because I have publishing brain rot, I tend to pick like a pitchable element first. Like, for example, for mods, it was like alchemists and in Paris. And then for Crypts, my current-ish kind of drafting project, I was like, okay, necromancer family. So I have like a little buzzy thing like that. And then I build out by asking myself questions, like Cody said, and like trying to fill in the blanks. And eventually somehow a world comes out of it. We'll see how effective that ends up being, but that's kind of my approach as well. It's cool. Really good answers, guys. Okay. I'll leave it up to y'all. Do you want to do one more question, or do you want to go into what would probably be our last sprint?
I'm down for whatever. I'm down to yap, to read, to write, to do all the things. I'm a guest. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm down to answer questions. I love yapping about writing stuff. It's one of my favorites.
Too.
I do too. I do too.
It's so fun. I constantly think about like maybe I should just do a stream that's just yapping and questions and like not.
Stop.
Yeah, but then that's just called a video.
Yeah. But I will say it's like nice in real time though, because I feel like it's a different experience when you get to answer these things in like in real time than like in a comment.
Yeah, that's so true. Maybe we should do like an author tube roundtable at one day and just like questions and answers.
Absolutely.
Wait, did I just
Would love.
Yes,
yes, you did.
Okay, I'll put it in the to-do list.
Lindy's done in the roundtable.
No, I love that so much. We have another question.
Ooh,
yeah. If you see anyone that pops out to you, Becca, let me know. But this one is like revision and editing checklist. Oh, also, real quick, I'm sorry, Adam, that you're not feeling well. I hope you feel better soon.
Sorry, Adam. Hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, I was sick last week as well because I started at a new middle school and immediately the germs got to me and I was like, oh my gosh, laid up in bed. I got
over a sickness last week. It was horrible. I was at 102 fever. Like, it was not a good time.
102 is nuts.
I was the biggest baby because I thought I was just like, Clark, come home and take care of me. That was so pitiful, but it's fine. We're better now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what is this question?
What things do you put on your revision/editing checklist?
I have no answer.
Okay.
I'm fully in the drafting phase, and Venture Beyond was like my personal hell. So I don't really have an answer for that. I kept chipping away at it until I thought it wasn't garbage anymore. That's how it happened for me.
I think, I don't necessarily have like a checklist. It's just, I think of like, okay, what does this next iteration need to accomplish for me? So like right now, a lot of the first draft that I wrote were, I don't know if anybody else's brains work like this. I saw the story in like scene chunks essentially. And so that's what I wrote down. I'm like, okay, there are these specific scenes that I'm seeing that build up to this. And so like right now what I'm doing is I'm going back and I'm like, okay, how do I want to make this readable from start to finish. So like if someone picked this up, even if it's good or bad, like there's a story structure here, which my first draft really didn't have very well. So like now I'm going through and I'm like connecting a lot of the scenes that I wrote and like actually putting some more like character depth in there. And I'm like, okay, how would they realistically interact as opposed to the way I had them interact in the first draft, right? So like each draft does something different in my opinion. So right now I'm just making it make sense. And then probably when I do it next time, I'll make it make sense a little bit more. And then how do I make it sound pretty? How do I put it together? Like, I think Alyssa has like a really good, make it exist, make it make sense, make it pretty, and then make it done, make it right. Yeah. And I kind of follow that school of thought when it comes to like any revision.
Yeah, I'm of the same sentiment where like my revision checklist does look different every time, but actually I'm going to plug one of Lynn's videos because it's one of Lynn's videos that I actually used for my most recent revision checklist, where basically I took all of my critique partner feedback from draft 3, and then because when you look at just like a list of things that need to be fixed, it can be so overwhelming to the brain to see it. like that. And so Lynn had a video where she broke it down, like for all the things, like all the feedback that applies to Act 1 goes here, and then Act 2, and then Act 3. And breaking it down like that helped me see my story in smaller chunks so it didn't feel as daunting and overwhelming. But then there were also a couple things that I listed above that. Like there were like 2 things that were like, these are like overarching things that you need to be looking for in all 3 of these sections. And I feel like really being able to minimize the scope of what the amount of words I'm looking at. So if I'm just working on Act 1 for this month, then I have this act. These are the things that I need to fix, and I apply it. Then I move on to the next act and the next act, and it helps me compartmentalize, because otherwise I get overwhelmed and stressed, and I'm like, I don't want to do any of this.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember making a video, but I do that, like the breaking it up into chunks and compartmentalizing.
It was like a small portion of one of your like vlogs that you like. Cool. You're like, I want to show you like how I make a revision checklist, and I was like, wait, I'm stealing that. So
please do, yeah. Anything that helps other people, I love to see it.
It's great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, for me, I do the breaking it up into chunks, but it's really like I put things on the checklist that are what other people tell me to do, like my editor and agent. So it's like, or Chris and Kelly, they tell me what to do a lot also. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What's up, Becca?
I thought of something. I was like, I can't believe I forgot this. What I'll do also is like, I'll go through and reread a draft, and whatever questions I have for myself, I put in a page at the beginning of the next draft so that I know that those are questions that I have to answer when I'm redrafting or revising.
Oh yeah,
that helps me a lot.
That's really, yeah, putting it like front and center. I leave like inline comments for myself usually, and then I'll yeah,
I just printed out my checklist and had it with me at all times, and so as I was like fixing things, I was crossing it out, and it felt like I was like, I could see the progress in real time. You know, it felt nice.
Oh, we have a super nice comment from Joy.
Oh, we are all so excited for Becca's book. Oh my
goodness. We really are. It sounds so good and everything.
It sounds so cozy, but it also sounds like it's gonna rip me to shreds, and I'm gonna be a puddle.
I'm gonna be in tears.
Immediately.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I actually hate reading those books. I don't hate reading those books, but I'm like always so cautious to pick those up. And here I am writing that exact same thing. And I'm just like, this is so fun.
Like, I'm going to make so many people cry with this.
I'm going to hurt people. Yeah, no, but I think I'm excited. I think there's another comment that I couldn't find the question, but somebody asked about comp titles. Like, how do you go about choosing comp titles for your work? And I feel like I'm so bad at that. I feel like I've pitched this a couple different ways. The essence is still the same. It's a ghost story. There's a layer of romance there. It's kind of mysterious. But like, I have no idea how to comp title this at all. So I'm really thankful for everyone's enthusiasm, regardless of my poor pitching.
Something that helped me with comp titles was having other people read it, because they were the ones that told me like, oh, your writing kind of reminds me of this book that I read. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me go read that book so I can kind of like, if I haven't already read it. And so that's how I found some of my comp titles. Like for like Alyssa, she said that like reading my book, that it reminded her of the In My Dreams I Hold a Knife.
Oh, that's so specific.
And so that's kind of like what my brain has been kind of gravitating towards. But I haven't read it yet, because I don't want to read it and like accidentally like emulate something over in my book that's like, you know,
I feel that
until I'm done with mine, and then I am going to go and read that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, similar vein. But yeah, that's kind of like the way that I have found comp titles, because in my brain, the only thing I ever comp to is like movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Like the easiest part for my brain to comp to.
I have the same problem, but I think it's just because like I read really slow, so I'm not like up to date on books a lot of the time, because I'm just I read a lot, but I'm so slow. And like, yeah, so it's kind of hard to be on top of all of the comp titles and stuff. But that is one of the plus sides of traditional publishing, is that other people do it for me.
Amen.
So,
Yeah.
And I think it's part of like the artist angst. We don't want to say that our art is like something else that someone else created.
Yes. And I just don't like any of the marketing stuff. Like it's not for me.
Like, I don't want to say, oh, if you like this book, you'll like mine, because I want mine to be different. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like this internal, subconscious angst that I'm like, I don't want to give you comp titles. You don't need comp titles.
Yeah,
just read it. It's fine.
Just read it. It's fine.
Yeah. It's been a
That's
weird
exactly
thing
right.
for me because like I never knew that was a thing until like I started like hearing other people start doing that and like having comp titles. And so I was like, I have zero idea. I have no clue whatsoever. Like could not tell you. It's a YA fantasy and it's a good time. A lot of people die. Go read it. Like marketing is so strange.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I
But I
have
think
no
that's
idea.
why I like because there's a lot of controversy, a lot of opinions regarding people selling books based on the tropes included. But I almost prefer that because, like, you know, you can do so many different combinations of so many tropes, like so many different variations. And so if I tell you, hey, my book has this, this, and this in it, and if that kind of stuff interests you, I don't have to be like, oh, but it's also like this specific book by this specific author. You know? It's like a different way of doing comp titles that makes you feel a little more like your
like
work
here
is.
are the bullet points of what will happen kind of and like the themes and what you can expect. Like I have pirates in mind and a fugitive princess and like that kind of vibe. But like
it's really good, y'all. I'm like congruently reading Taylor's book with my new book, and it's so good.
Captain Roth is the best
we love
character. We stand Captain Roth all day.
Wait, I need to get on this like immediately.
Gross.
I need to get on this hype
so
train.
Fast. It's very easy to read. I promise. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a good time. You'll have a good time.
Well, no art is perfect because it's a reflection of the human experience, and humans are not perfect. So,
oh my gosh, you are so on it today with the art analysis. I love it, and the philosophy.
I'm just not going to let my friends downplay their art. So
exactly.
Thank you, Cody.
So real. So real. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Michaela says we've been the best podcast for Sunday cleaning.
Cleaning with friends is so much more fun.
Oh, you guys have been the best podcast. Good. Honestly, yeah, Author 2 podcasts. I had one for a tiny bit, but it got so overwhelming. But they're so fun. I guess that's kind of where I get the roundtable idea from, where it's just chatting, shooting the shit.
It's my favorite.
Okay, I think I'm so conflicted. Like, I do want to do another sprint because I've been productive, but I also want to answer questions. But there's kind of too many. Okay,
let's do this one and then we sprint. How about that?
Yes, that sounds really good.
This is a good
Compromise.
one.
Okay.
I have to read the question. Hold on.
Yeah, me too. I'll read it out loud. When it comes to improving your writing craft, do you ever try to explicitly focus on a particular skill, or is it all based on what the current project requires and learn as you go? That is a good question.
I would love to not go first.
Okay, I can go first. I think I'm in the top left for me, so maybe I can.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, I don't know. I think every project I've learned a different lesson, but I haven't focused on it necessarily. It was very dependent on what the project required, because I try to make it like I get really bored if I'm writing kind of like similar. I think similar themes seep into all my work kind of as a result of me being a person, but I like try not to write things that are too similar time and time again because I just get bored of it personally. So it ends up requiring different skill sets each time, and I think that's kind of how I've been able to grow and learn. So I guess like Moths, I was more into like learning about the voice and the prose and themes. And then with Crips, it's more about like the story structure and balancing lots of different character conflicts because there's like a million characters. And yeah, so kind of learning as I go.
Yeah. I agree with that. I feel like every book kind of has its own set of skills, and I don't ever want to get wrapped up in what specific skill I'm learning, because I know that if I just continue to work on it, I'm gonna gain it naturally. So like for the book I'm working on now, definitely, I mean, it's one of the first books that I've ever finished. I mean, even though I've gone through many drafts of it, this one was me learning how to tell a story in a compelling way, in a structure, in a form. I was really focusing on structure, I guess, with this one. My second book, which is Project Terms and Conditions, I was focusing more on like, I guess, dual POV, like specifically, because I've never written just a dual POV before. And so that one was a lot of fun. And then with this fantasy one, the skill that I'm gaining is the skill of world building, because in my first two, I didn't really have to build a world. I just had to pick a place that already existed and drop us in there. And so with the fantasy, I'm flexing the world building skill. So I feel like with every story, you're going to learn new skills, and it's just, a matter of what the story calls for and what it needs.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's like a toolkit. If you need a screwdriver for this random IKEA piece of furniture, you go get that tool. You'll never need to go buy it again because you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you just open your toolkit, see what you need for that story, pull it out, and go.
Yeah.
I think for me, and this story in particular, I think it was a lot of like, I love my main character, and it's also a challenge for me writing from like a male's perspective, like a young 25-year-old man that I've never been, right? So it's like, my story is like heavily character driven. It's like, okay, how do I create these really flawed but really interesting characters that are going to drive something forward, right? Like, how do I create people that readers want to like invest their time and emotion in to carry them through to the end? And it's been tough. That's a lot of like where the doubt comes from, I think, from my craft, from like a craft perspective, because it's like, I don't know if I'm doing it well. I'm writing in a little bit of a vacuum, but I know that that's going to be so helpful for me in future projects. So I'm kind of glad that I'm writing a story like that right now, even if it never goes anywhere. I think it's just like a really good practice for me. So I didn't like expressly start out with that as like something I wanted to work on, but I'm happy that it kind of just like worked out that way, I think.
Yeah. I'm really glad I didn't go first, because it like triggered like thoughts in my head. But I definitely, so after Venture Below, I don't really think, okay, maybe I don't know what I'm going to say, but it was like after I had that experience, I like reread my work and was like, where are the flaws? Where am I lacking? And so then I just started like a random side project where I really was intentional about focusing on like description. So I was like, I don't really care what happens in the story except that my description is on point. And it was almost like a short story. And so I was flexing that muscle. And then I had another one where I was really focusing on dialogue and like these just tiny like snapshots of like trying to like flex the muscle of doing that thing. And then for first drafts, I don't think about it. Like that's what I've learned with this draft specifically is like when you have been practicing that thing over and over again, you just let it kind of live here. You don't put it here. And like that was what stopped me with my second book over and over again for 4 years was I couldn't type a sentence without deleting it and thinking it was trash. And then something clicked in my head and I was like, if I'm seeing it as trash right now, I will see it that way after I write it. Like after I finish this book, editing me will see all the flaws and she'll be able to fix it and make it better. But I can't make it better if it's not there. And so current me is like the way I'm trying to be better at writing is like, I know and I trust all the things that I've learned, all the things I've been practicing are in the back of my head. And as I'm writing this, it'll come through. But I'm literally not being a critic of my book right now at all. Like as I'm doing this first draft, that's for another version of me to figure it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also there's a part of me that's like, you don't necessarily need to have all the skills, because while writing itself is a pretty solitary activity, published books 9 times out of 10 are a collaborative effort. Like there's more than one set of eyes, there's more than one skill set person that is looking and working on that manuscript. Like in TradPub, you have like your agent, your editor, and then the actual people that buy the book, they have their own opinions and thoughts of what to change and what to do and how to improve things. And in the same way, like for me with indie publishing, my beta readers, critique partners, those are different people with different skill sets that are bringing something to the table when it comes to making the writing what it can be. And so through those other people, I have learned so many things about my own writing that I couldn't see because I was reading my own writing. But when someone else is reading it, it's so much easier for them to point out some things and show you things that, could use improvement. And so also rely on your fellow writers, your fellow, people that do the same thing that you're doing, and because you can learn so much just by talking to each other. It's amazing. I've learned so much from all the people I've met through AuthorTube. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. 100%. I love seeing all the different perspectives and approaches, and I love how broad we are in terms of like genres and what we like to write. And experience too. Like we have some folks who have like a full degree or like minored in creative writing, or like even have MFAs and like or maybe no one has an MFA, but have like a lot of experience with that stuff. And some of us are just like coming out of STEM or engineering, writing for fun.
Have a music degree. Woo!
That is so cool though. Okay. All right. Should we do our last sprint?
Yes. Let's do
Okay.
this.
Amazing. Chat, I hope you're ready. Is 20 minutes okay, or do you guys want to do a shorter one? Because we've been doing this for over an hour already, but it's totally up to you.
I'm okay with 20.
I'm also okay with 20. Okay, great. We'll go into that. Good luck, everyone. I definitely heard that one.
Oh, that is so calming. The birds.
I chose birds because the beeping always scares me.
I
Every
love
time. That was so relaxing. I was like, is that the timer?
Yeah.
Is it actual birds outside?
Oh my gosh, I miss birds. I do see cardinals out here, which is nice.
Aw.
So how did that go for everyone?
I was having a great time. I was reading it, and then there was a couple parts where I was like, I don't know if y'all saw me like just like smiling, and I was like, wait, who wrote this? This is kind of good. Like, I just got to the nightmare sequence that happens in chapter 2, and like, oh, dude, it's like it's so fun. And
Yes,
just
I
the
love.
words I've been using to describe. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it.
That's so good. I love a good nightmare sequence.
Yeah, it's like this person who's our main character's trapped, and there's like this shadow that's like walking towards them, but their feet are scraping, and they're like noticing that the scraping becomes louder and louder until it's like all they can hear. And then after the sound stops, they hear them mumbling, but they can't like they're staring at their face where their face should be, where their mouth should be, trying to like make out the words that they're saying, but they can't do it. And then like, can I just read this one little like paragraph?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because I'm just excited about it.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the shadow that stood 10 feet away mere seconds ago has now teleported to my side. Long, spindly fingers creep up my neck and force my eyelids open. My head turns to face the light, and I realize that whoever or whatever this thing is, they are forcing me to watch my last seconds alive.
That's awesome.
It's so like the spindly fingers is what got me. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's so catchy.
Yeah, oh my gosh, wait, spindly fingers is like graphic, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the very next sentence is crazy. The shadow continues to mumble, only now I can make out every word. You deserve to die. You deserve to die. You deserve to die.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Wait, that's so
I need
good.
it
I love it.
now. I need it.
Anyway, that's what I was reading while we were doing that.
I love that. Wow. Oh my gosh.
That's so good.
How did you guys do?
I got to finish a I finished a chapter, so I got to like fill out one of my little. I color in one of these every time I finish revising a chapter. So there's like 30-ish in total.
What are those?
They're clouds, because like rain is a really big symbol in the book.
I love.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a nice little accomplishment for today. I'm almost through Act 1.
Exciting.
Love.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Wait, what?
Same. Oh my god,
sorry.
it's getting to that time for sure.
I did well. I think another. I have scribbled on my iPad, so it tracks the session kind of weird. But I got 632 words total for today, so I think I got another like 300 words, and I got to a good stopping point. Peter's being an asshole, and I like it. So I mean, kind of understandably so, but I think I got to a good stopping point, which is good. I need to figure out. I'm in the middle of like the debate, like setting up the debate for my Act 1, and then by the end of this chapter, he'll make his decision. But yeah, it was good, I think.
Nice. I was kind of looking over some of what I wrote yesterday. Anyway, and I was fixing up like a little bracket moment that I had in one of my scenes. Like I wrote the scene and then I was like, wait, I was supposed to include this. So then I just went back and did that. I think because, you know, it deletes the words and like gives you negative words or whatever. So I don't actually know, but I think I technically added like 50 words to that scene, even though I took away like half of it. But yeah, so that was nice to kind of fix that up in the meantime.
Good. I don't know what it is, but these last two sprints here have been like, I don't know, they went by really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good though. I like got a lot done, I feel like. I haven't been able to focus in a while.
Yeah. 100%.
Cody, you're muted.
Ooh, a nice tracker.
Yeah, I was sorry. I was saying I made myself a little checklist. Obviously, we haven't gotten very far, but it's there. You can't read it because it's
Oh, it's
blurred. But you
good.
get the idea.
Yeah.
And this is my little notebook, and it says, "Hello, beautiful."
Oh my
I-
gosh. I love that.
Yeah. Cute.
Ads. I have like the lowest ad setting on, so I don't know why there's a lot of ads. Sorry, guys. It should be like very minimal. I'll check that setting later for the next one. Oh my gosh.
It happens.
You do be
I
like
just
that.
have like no control over it. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
especially on streams, because I know for videos you can have a little bit more autonomy.
I try
there,
not
but-
to put in mid rolls in like my videos, but
Mhm.
I have a suspicion that they play regardless. I just don't get paid for them. So
Interestingly enough, before I was
Gee.
even monetized on my channel, there were already ads playing on my
Yeah.
videos.
yeah, and
I
like
was "Oh, did you
heavy
get
ads.
monetized?" And I was like, no. And he was like, oh,
Yeah.
there's ads playing on your videos.
Yeah, and like
Oh, that's
mid roll ads
cute.
before I was ever monetized. So I'm so sorry, guys. I promise
So
I'm
funny.
not trying to have this. I don't like that at all. Maybe next time I'll do like for streams you can do like choose how mid rolls appear, which I guess would be never for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I want to monetize a little bit because I need
Yeah.
money.
And you should not feel ashamed for that.
No, don't
But
be
I don't
ashamed.
want it to be like a disruptive viewing experience.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a tangent. I just got distracted by that.
I will say I also have sorry, Ren dropped in the thing that she has YouTube
Yeah.
Premium. I've had YouTube Premium for a year and it is the best $20 that I spend, I'm just gonna say.
Oh, really? Is it 20 every month or is it 20 for the year?
It's 20 every month.
Ooh.
But I watch more YouTube than I do TV, so for me it's worth it.
That's true.
That's fair. That's fair.
I do also
Like,
watch
I don't-
YouTube and I watch
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah. I just kind of let the ads run. I don't usually mind them in videos, but I get how it's like annoying for a stream. Like
Mhm.
that's something I got to figure out. Okay. Well, that was our last stream. I know someone asked that as well. Or sprint, sorry. Last stream forever. I'm never
We're
doing
never
this.
streaming again.
We're all retiring after this. Yeah, thank you so much for that sprint. I mean, yeah, that was like almost 2 hours, y'all. Good hustle. Good
Mhm.
hustle. Got so much done. Thank you to everyone who popped in. I'm gonna try to answer some questions just like in chat so that people get their questions answered. But thank you so much to you guys as well for coming along and doing this. I hope we can do another one soon or like that round table.
Yeah.
Wait, I love this. I can never make it work.
Am I?
Can I?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Woo!
Are you on a Mac, Becca
Me?
or Taylor?
Yeah.
I'm on my phone.
If you click the little like camera at the top, you can add reactions. You just turn them on. You know, like the little like FaceTime camera in the top bar of your whatever you're using.
I'm
I
on my
never turned
phone,
that
so
on.
I know it's not gonna be the same.
We'll figure that out later.
Yeah, that's
it's
for
like
another
right
time.
there at the top. It always lives up there where like your Wi-Fi symbol and all that stuff is.
Okay.
Anyway, now you know that.
This was great. Thanks for having us, Lynn.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
anytime. It's always so much fun to do sprints and streams with AuthorTube folks, and you guys are so great.
Aw.
Okay. Sorry, I like almost burped for a second. That would have been
Fine.
Wow,
Gross.
I'm judging you for that.
oh my gosh. Okay, well, thank you again, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.